I didn't believe in ghosts. Sure, I was entertained by the idea, but anyone who said they genuinely believed in them, I usually just dismissed as some kind of new age hippie. Then, I lived in a haunted house. At first, it was little things. The bathroom door would fly open, hard, anytime someone latched it. It happened so often, we stopped being surprised by it. Once, I asked my roommate if he ever noticed a red light in the spare bedroom when walking up the stairs in the dark. He had. I'd go into that room to look for the source, but never found anything. Still, I explained it away. Then, things got weirder. One night, I was sitting in the living room with my girlfriend and my roommate when I saw the shape of a woman's face appear in the glass of the window in the next room. Not outside the window, in the pane. We all saw it. Even then, I tried to write it off as some trick of the light. What finally convinced me something real was going on happened while I was brushing my teeth. I felt something tug insistently on my sleeve. Not a snag or a catch. I was standing in the middle of the bathroom, nothing nearby. If you've ever been fishing, it was like a fish was nibbling on the line, except it was my t-shirt. That freaked me out. Stranger things followed. Footsteps upstairs when no one else was home. Shadows out of the corner of my eye, and once, not even out of the corner, but straight in front of me. A shadow hanging there in the middle of the room, not up against a wall. I moved around it to make sure, and it stayed for about 5 minutes. Twice, as I headed upstairs to go to bed, I heard a woman's voice say, "Good night," over my shoulder, soft, clear, right behind me. The strangest thing happened on New Year's Eve, 3 years ago. My roommate and I were waiting for guests to arrive. We were just sitting in the living room, when suddenly I felt something brush my arm, and the light bulb in the lamp beside me exploded. Not popped, exploded. Other things happened. I've probably forgotten a few, but it reached a point where there were just too many strange incidents to dismiss. I don't live in that house anymore, but the belief stuck with me. Something was happening there, and I can't explain it. We bought this house exactly 1 year ago, July 8th. When we came to see it, the realtor casually mentioned that the previous owner had passed away. It wasn't until a week or two before closing that I looked up her obituary. That's when I found out she had died inside the house. From the moment we moved in, things felt off. The first night, I saw what looked like a woman walking from the dining room into the living room. I was coming around the corner from the living room into the kitchen and caught her out of the corner of my eye. The layout makes a big circle, so I told myself I'd just caught my own reflection or maybe some weird light play. But it kept happening. My 18-year-old daughter wasn't with us when we toured the house before buying it. But the moment she stepped inside, she said it felt haunted. Just flat out said it. No hesitation. The house is a tri-level. You've got the main floor, stairs that go up to the bedrooms and bathroom, and another set that goes down to a walkout basement. That basement is mostly open except for a utility room in the second bathroom. Almost every time I walked down the stairs from the bedroom level, I'd see someone on the other set of stairs going down to the basement. It's hard to describe, but there's a little interior window cut into the wall between the two stairwells. No glass, just open space. And through it, I'd always catch a glimpse of a person standing still. Once, a friend visiting the house saw it too, so I know it wasn't just in my head. That particular thing hasn't happened in a few months, but nothing changed. It just stopped. For a long time, I kept all of this to myself. I didn't want to sound dramatic or paranoid, but eventually, my husband, who's always been a skeptic, started having his own experiences. He was in the bathroom one night when a black shadow walked right up to him. At first, he thought someone had come into the room, but when he turned to look, it disappeared right in front of him. He was visibly shaken afterwards. Since then, he's seen shadows in other parts of the house too. We both have. I've watched them walk past open doors. I've seen them move doors. One of the weirdest things was looking at the TV when it was off and seeing a reflection of someone. It looked like a person bent down staring at the screen, then slowly stood upright and backed away. But no one was there. I've also seen my husband in places he wasn't. A couple of times I woke up, got out of bed quietly, trying not to disturb him, only to find him asleep on the couch downstairs. When I went back to check the bed, it was empty. He'd never been there at all. I'd imagined the weight of him, the warmth, but it wasn't him. The most recent thing happened just last night. I had turned off my phone and pulled my sleep mask on. I was just getting comfortable, laying on my side, when I felt an arm slide across my hip. Not lightly, not maybe, a full arm, physical touch. Startled, I whipped off my sleep mask and rolled over. My husband was asleep next to me, both arms tucked under his blanket. We have separate blankets, by the way. He hadn't moved at all. This was the first time anything has touched me, and I can't explain it. Before anyone asks, yes, we have cats, but our bedroom door stays shut at night. They weren't in the room. There are other things, smaller things, stranger things even. But this is the core of it. It's enough, more than enough. I never thought I'd say this, but I think this house is haunted, and I don't know what to do with that. When I was 11, we moved into a haunted house. From the start, we knew something was off. It was a big place, probably built in the 1940s, with hardwood floors. In the living room, there were deep axe marks gouged into the wood. Almost every night, I had the same nightmare. A man standing outside my bedroom window, his face horribly disfigured by burns. In my dreams, he never tried to come inside. He just stood there, staring. But for 11-year-old me, that was more than enough. Sometimes, while we sat in the living room, we'd hear footsteps in the hallway. You could follow them in your head, step by step, from one end of the hallway to the other before they faded away into the den. We'd also hear movement in the kitchen, pots and pans shifting, faint whispers drifting through the air. I had a pair of hard-soled loafers back then, and my family would often yell at me for stomping around the hallway in them. The thing was, it wasn't me. They'd come out ready to scold me, only to find me sitting on the couch or asleep. My brother was still a baby, and we had one of those wind-up baby swings for him. Once he fell asleep, you'd never dare rewind it. The noise was awful and would wake him instantly. But more than once, we'd sit in the living room, watching his swing start moving on its own, while he slept peacefully inside it. Other strange things happened too. Rocking chairs would start moving with no one near them. The hot water in the shower would turn on by itself. Years later, after I'd grown up, my kids and I stayed in the house briefly with my parents. My children started having the same nightmares about the burned man outside the window. About 6 years ago, a man stopped by and had a long talk with my stepmother. He said he had grown up in that house during the 1960s. His father, he explained, had struggled with mental illness and alcoholism, and had once tried to set his wife and children on fire. In the process, he burned himself.